Hi friends, David here from Learn Stage Lighting, and in this video, this is going to be fun. We're actually updating an older video that we had on the site here, where JP is going to walk you through kind of an introduction to how he likes to set up ONYX for band lighting. And so this is just one method. There are so many, and if you want more info, as he links to, we have more in-depth info inside of Learn Stage Lighting Labs, and you can check a link below on that. Awesome. Now, let's hop into ONYX and show you from the start how to begin setting up a basic band lighting show with JP.
Welcome back to Learn Stage Lighting. My name is JP, and in this video I'm going to show you how I like to set up my show file for band lighting. The first thing you need to do is open a new show file in ONYX. Then obviously we need to patch some fixtures. So for now I'm just going to patch some inner pocket spots. We can go into patch, we can go new fixtures, go down to standard library, and let's jump down to ADJ. Go over to the eye, go down to inner pocket spot. I'm just going to patch 4 of them. I like to rename my fixtures, so let's call them spot. Click on apply to patch. The next fixture I'm going to be adding is the Chauvet slim bars. So go to ABC, click on it 3 times to go to C, go down to Chauvet, and let's go and find the slim bar. So the slim bar has a few different slim bars. You can get the 38, the 56, and the 64. They vary in sizes. I'm just going to use the slim bar 64. I'm going to add 4 of them, and I'm going to call them bar. Let's call it bar 1, 2, 3, and 4. Last but not least, I'm going to go to my standard library. I'm going to go to G for generic. I'm going to look for generic, and I'm going to add some generic channels for my white front of house lights, which will be some generic bars. So I'm just going to rename it FOH and click on enter or click on apply to patch. So normally I like to have my FOH lights right at the top at fixture ID 1, 2, 3, and 4. But as you can see, I've patched the spots first, then the bars, and then the front of house lights. So to change this, you can go and select your fixture IDs. You can open a small keypad, and you can give them a new ID. So let's take them all to 100. So it'll start at 100. So I'm going to patch FOH at fixture ID 1. So fixture ID 1, 2, 3, and 4. Next, I'm going to be doing my spots. So I'm going to patch them at fixture ID 10, and the bars I'll do at 20, so it'll be 21 through 24. Sorry, 20 through 24. So the next thing we can do is close the patch, and I like to create my own workspace to work with. So we can unlock the workspace, click on manage workspaces, click on add. You can give your workspace a name. Just click on enter. So now you can add in your own views. To the top of the screen, I normally add the fixture center, save the fixture center. Below that, I'll be adding the presets tab. Click on save again. Then to the bottom, I'll do a window I like to call the programmer, which I'll divide in 3. 1 large block to the left and 2 small divided blocks to the right. To the top of the screen, I'll be adding the fixture center. Below that, the presets tab, and to the left hand side, 2D plan. Click on save. Next, I'll be adding the clear and record command buttons on my sidebar. So click on that, go down to commands, playback control. Apologies, we'll go to actions, go right down. The first one will be record. Below that, the action will be clear. So now we need to set up our 2D plan, but before we do that, I like to create my groups first. So ONYX pre-creates some auto creation groups, so it's sort of spot on what you need, especially for something small like this show file. So you got the inner pocket spots, the slim bars, and your FOH lights. So let's recreate that. Go to the Fixture Center, select your front of house lights, click on record, go over to groups, record your first group and call it FOH. Click on enter to confirm the rename. Next, I'll be selecting my spots. I'll go over to groups, click on record them in. I'll call them spots, and then I'll do my pause, select my pause. Let's clear that out. Select my pause, click on record, go over to groups and record the pause. Click on enter to confirm the rename. So now let's add them into the 2D plan. I'm just going to click on save and lock my workspace. We'll save it again a bit later. So for now, I'm just going to use the maximize button here to the right hand side and just maximize the 2D plan. So I can have that at full screen. I'm going to change it into edit mode. I'm going to go to the Fixture Center. I'm going to go to groups. I'm going to select my FOH lights first. Go back to the 2D plan. Click on add. Select fixtures. I'm going to use the line mode to place them on the 2D plan. Click on place fixtures. Click and drag, and you can add them. Something happened there that wasn't supposed to happen. So I'm just going to reselect them, delete, confirm, and just click on add again. Make sure the line selection is selected. Click on place fixtures. Click, drag them in a line, and then release as soon as you find your end point. So then I'm going to go back to the Fixture Center, deselect my front of house, select my spots. Oopsie, we don't have to record this one. So click on the 2D plan, click on add. I'm going to click on place fixtures as the line selection is already selected. I'm going to add my spots by clicking and dragging. As you can see, they've been placed. I let go of the button and they are there. Go back to the Fixture Center, do the same for the pause. Click place, place them. And now, as you can see, they are a bit weirdly laid out. So I'm just going to move them along a little bit to the middle, to the center. So it's 10, 11, 12, 13, 20, 21, 22, 23, as you can see. So now I'm going to select all of them. I'm going to go to align, and I'm going to use the spread buttons just to spread them nice and evenly, and then use the align button to the bottom just to get them in a straight line, and do the same for my front of house lights. So I'm just making sure they are aligned properly. So now what you can do is you can go back into the add mode, click on add. You can jump over to groups, and now you can add in your groups as well. So you can add FH, click on place group, and you can just click on the screen. Or, oh, my apologies, it's been on drag. So we can just delete that, click on add. For the groups, I prefer to add them manually. So I can click on add, and you can click on single placement. So you can still select all of them. Click place groups. So you can just click, click, and click. I don't like to drag them because that normally doesn't work out for me. So I'm just going to select all of them, and I'm going to align them to the left hand side. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see it a bit better. I'm going to click this button to take it back to normal. So as you can see, they're a bit small, a bit difficult to see. So I'm just going to go back to edit, select all of them, go to the settings, well, to the options icon, and I'm just going to scale them a little bit larger by clicking on the plus icon. You can also use this font to change the font on them. You can change the type of text it views. I just normally change it to name so you can see the names. Release that options button. So now I'm just going to move my groups. Just select my groups. I'm going to move them to the right hand side. Move these a little bit left. There we go. Now we can perfectly see all of them. Now, the next thing we need to do is create some presets. So the first presets I create is intensity, then I go over to pan tilt, some color, some gobos, and some beam. If you've got some beam effects and some framing presets, you can add them in as well. Normally I just leave them out because this is normally reset and stuff like that. So I don't bother with that. If I need to reset a fixture, I do it manually with the fixture. So let's select our first group, which will be FOH. Turn them up to full. As you can see, they turned on in the 2D plane. I can turn them on and off, and you can see that in the 2D. Click on record. Just move this a little bit away. Click on my first intensity preset. So it's intensity, pan tilt, color, gobo, and beam. Then after you've recorded it, you can just give it a name. I'm just going to call it full. Click on enter. Clear that out. Select my next group. Do the same for that by turning it up to full. Click on record. Click on that same preset, but now rather click on merge. Next you can do that for the spots. Well, that was the spots. Next we do the pause. Turn them up to full. Click on record and merge it into that preset. You can also do it another way by clicking on FOH. I'm going to open this up. Click on center to take it to 50%. Select the spots. Take it to 50%. Select the pause and take it to 50% as well. And then click on record. And we can call it 50. Enter. Now we can take them down to 0. All of them. And we can record them. Click on record and click on your preset. Now you can rename that and let's call it 0. So if you want to learn more about editing presets, diving a bit deeper into presets, how we can use them live, use the up and down times, please sign up to learnstagelighting.com. We've got loads of videos online that you can take a look at, and we can take you a little bit deeper into intensity presets. So just to take a little bit down further the line, I'm going to skip pan tilt for now. I'm going to jump to color. So the FOH just has on and off, so there's no color for that, but I'm going to go to the pause, go to color. So now I'm going to do the first color, which is red. Record my red color, rename it red. Do the same for green. And do the same for blue. I'm going to stop at blue. You can create the rest of the colors you'd like to create. So normally I do red, green, blue, cyan, magenta, yellow, and white. Normally I do RGB and I do white because spots obviously have got open. If you've got fixtures that have got a gobo wheels and stuff like that, I just call it white because it's fairly different than RGB, and it looks quite different. If you've got a white in your fixtures, they work very well with the open on spots. So now we can clear that out. We can select our spots, and the first color would be red, so let's turn it to red. Click on record, click on that preset, merge it in there. The same for green, the same for blue. You can go a little bit deeper and do the rest of the presets, and you can also take a look at learnstagelighting.com, where we'll show you a little bit more about presets, how to use them, and how to run a live show with your presets. So I prefer to run my show very controlled, so I want to be in control of my show. So one view I haven't created yet is the playback buttons view. So the next screen I add in is the playback buttons screen. So by adding in a new screen, clicking on the plus icon, we go to playback and we click on playback buttons. We can click on save and we can click on save on OK to confirm. Now what I normally do is I like to run my intensity for my group of fixtures separately. So what I'll do is I'll select my front of house lights, which is the most important lights on stage. Take very good note of that. the main focus is so you can see the people on stage. As soon as someone can't see the people on stage, you are going to upset someone in the crowd. So make sure of that. It's very important. It differs in some states, in some instances where you are running something like a silhouette on stage, or you've got a specific scene where you want the front lights turned off. But in most cases, it's very important, especially with band lighting, to light up everyone on stage, especially the singers. The drummer is the one we don't like lighting up the most, so we keep him in the dark. People don't like to see the drummer. No, I'm just kidding. It's just a little joke. So let's get back to the action. So I'm going to select my front of house lights, turn them up to full, click on record, and I'm going to record them on fader number 10, call it FOH, click on enter. So now I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to change it to an override. The reason I do that is I want to be able to control this with my fader, and I always want it to be higher priority than any of my other cue lists. So the next thing I'll be doing is I'll be creating my intensity cue lists for my groups of fixtures. So the next group I'll be selecting is my spots. So without adding any color, band tilt, positions, gobos, anything, just turning it on, I'm going to click on full, turn it on, click on record, and I'm going to call my first group spots intensity. Now we can clear that out. We can go to the bars, do the same for them, turn them on, record them, and we call it bars intensity. Click on enter. Again, we can clear that out. So normally I run my band tilt and my band tilt effects and intensity effects and all those stop buttons on the first bank with my intensities as well, because they are fairly important to me, because I run all my effects off, let's call it busking. I never, even if it's a time code, I always run stuff over the time code. I don't just keep it as simple as that. I like to challenge myself, and I like to keep it interesting show to show. I don't like to do the same thing 20 shows in a row. As soon as you start getting used to the show, you can improvise a little bit and do some nice stuff. So let's record 2 band tilt presets. So the first one will just be a straight up forward, so we can turn them on with our cue list. Straight up forward, click on record, record it as forward. The next one I'll use fanning, and I'll pan it inwards, so I'll call it the fanned in preset. So there we go, click on record, forward, fanned in, click on enter. Now I think that's good for now. In my beam and in my, unfortunately this one doesn't have any beam attributes you can adjust. So let's say for the gobos, I'll record all my gobos. So I'll do gobo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Normally what I do is I give them good names so I can remember what gobo it is. So let's call it the cone gobo or the circle gobo, or something that you can remember exactly what gobo that is. Most of the gobos actually have got names, but I prefer to give them my own name so I can remember what it is and if it will work well for the song. So now I keep a little gap next to these guys so I don't record anything to fader number 3. On fader number 4, select my spots, go to my first band tilt preset, select that, click on record, and record it there, and I'll call it band tilt. So just BT, a lot easier, a lot quicker, especially if you haven't got a lot of time. Next one is the forward fanned in. Click on record, record it onto that cue list. And we can go and rename it in the selected cue list window. We've got more videos regarding that on Learn Stage Lighting Labs if you want to learn more about that. If you want to learn more about types of cue lists, how to use them, when to use them, and where to use them, sign up to learnstagelightinglabs.com and we'll show you a lot more. We've also got great forums online where we respond within weekdays, we respond within a few hours, and we get you sorted out and resolved and answer your questions fairly quickly. So please feel free to sign up. Feel free to email questions@learnstagelighting.com if you have any questions or want to ask us anything. So now I've got my spots, I've got my bars, I've got my pan tilt. Next I'll do my effects stop buttons. So the first one will be intensity effects. I'll never run intensity effects on my front of our slides. If I want to turn them off or do some bumps on them, I'll turn them off and I'll use the flash buttons like that, but I'll never run any effects on them. So we can just turn them off for now. We're not using them. No one on stage. My stage is too ugly for people to get on at this stage. So let's select the spots. Go over to intensity. Normally we'll run some, let's just tilt them forward so we can see what they do. Normally let's say I'm running an effect like this. An effect like that. Let's record it to the playback buttons and call it intensity effects 1 wave, because I'm using a wave of 4, not a step of 4, so I'm just calling it a wave. Normally I'll keep it exactly the same, 4, but what I'll do is I'll change it to a jump or a step mode. So as you can see, previously it was fading, but now it's jumping. So I'll just record that again. Go to the playback buttons, click on intensity effects 1 step. We can clear that out. Go back to the programmer. As you can see, they're not turned on, so there's no effect currently running. But if I turn that on, the wave is running. So normally I'll go select my spots, go to into intensity effects, click on stop, go over to my bars, go to intensity effects, make sure the output is selected and not strobe, click on stop. I'll record that over here. I'll call it intensity effects stop. Click on enter. I'll right click on it. I'll go and make it an override. But one thing that's very important is I'll go to the lowest button. If you're running something like an ONYX touch, this will be the lowest touch button on it. So I'll go and set the down action as go, the up action as release. So if you click that button and the effect is running, let's just clear this out. The effect is running. You can instantly stop it. And if you let go, it will continue running that effect. So that's a quite cool and nifty trick you can use in your show. I'll go and do the same for color. Color is a bit different, as you need to go into each attribute and go and stop them. So click on red, go over to effects, click on stop, go over to green, click on stop, blue, effects, click on stop. So you can go and do all of that, click on record, record that. But now, obviously song to song, the BPM differs. It's maybe a fast song, maybe a slow song. And normally I record the same speed into all of my effects. So I'll do, let's say, a 30% speed, and then I'll create a speed fader. So here's where the trick comes in. Then select my spots, go to intensity. As you can see, I recorded 25%, which is 19 BPM. Now I'll turn it up to still, which is 0 BPM. Click on record. Record it next to the intensity effect stop, and let's call it intensity speed. Now I'll turn this up to maximum, maybe not so fast, maybe 240 BPMs. Click on record and record it on that same cue list. Clear that out. Then I'll go over and I'm just going to create a new view, add new empty screen, click on the plus icon, click on playback, add the selected cue list window and click on save. So I'm just going to right click on the intensity speed cue list I've created, change it to an override, and this little button here that says down release, I'm going to turn that off, because if it's turned on as it was and you're running this fader like that and you take it down, you'll see that it override turns off. But if I turn that little button off and I go down to 0, it doesn't turn off. So that's what you want. You want to be able to go down at low speeds and not have the override turn off, because then it will jump back to the default speed that was recorded in the cue list that is running your effect. So click on close. I don't normally I don't change anything here. I don't feel the need for that. Sometimes I'll just change this to end release button, but not on the speed. Maybe on the effect stop, but definitely not on the speed. So you can select that, and you can click on edit mode. Now you can go and change the names of your cues that I've mentioned earlier. But what's very important is right click on that, go over to general, click on cue blender. This means that you can fade into the next cue at a certain position within the cue list. So let's say at 50%, if you set it to 50%, whatever you may set it at, you can fade into that second cue. So I want the first cue to run from 0 to let's say 5, and the second cue I want to run from 5 to 100, so I can have that speed properly aligned and control it as it needs to be controlled. So as you can see, if I turn this up, it starts going faster and oopsie, and faster and faster and faster and faster until we get up to the speed we've set it to. Just close this, open this up. As you see, I'm controlling the speed of the fader. For some reason, it's not going down to 0 BPM. Let's just see what's going on. So let's just go change the selected cue list from 1 to 100. I'm just going to change Q1. So click on record. I'm going to set it to 0 BPM. Click on record, and I'm going to record it to Q1. Just make sure your cue list is selected when you do that. Let's go and select the spots again. So as you can see, it goes down to 0% now. It's functioning perfectly. Something was a little bit weird. I don't know what. So at 2%, you are at 0. So there you go. There's your speed fader. I'm just going to turn this off and turn the effects off. Let's go to playback buttons and turn that effect off. You can also add a new screen. Go to add new empty screen. Click on the plus icon. If you go to presets, there's a little effects macro presets tab. Just going to save that. Click on save, click on OK. So as you can see, you get a whole lot of different effects like rainbow wave, dark blue, white wave, blue magenta wave, blue cyan wave, etc, etc. So let's click on clear twice, select the pause, and I'm just going to turn the spots off and turn the pause on. Go back to my fix macro tab, click on the rainbow wave. As you can see, they're running a rainbow wave and they are changing colors. You can now open the programmer, change the wave per X, and it's going to do that with delay included. So it'll do it at different times. It'll go to different colors at different times. So let's go back to that and just do it with something like a blue-white wave. Put it to a wave of 4. As you can see, what it's doing, it's delaying all the fixtures so they're not going blue-white at the same time, where they will be if they are at a wave of 1. So one thing I do with my show file is I run my color attributes, my pan tilt attributes, my gobos, my beams, my intensities, everything I run separately, including my effects. So go to the programmer, select my spots. Let's just close this. go to the color, click on red, click on record, go to playback buttons, move this. The first one will be spots. Red, I'll record my color, and I'll go back, I'll go to green, click on record, playback buttons, I'll do green, and I'll keep on going until I've done all the colors I want to do. So it'll be green, blue, cyan, magenta, yellow, all that sort of stuff, white or open or whatever it may be. Below that, I'll do the same for my bars. Below that, I'll do something maybe like a mix where it'll be half of the rig will be green, half of the rig will be blue, or maybe even half of the bars will be green, half of the bars will be blue, or the spots or something like that. Then I'll do my gobos, I'll do my beams like my zoom or my focus, or maybe some special colors for specific scenes where they need to go, something like turquoise or some weird color that's not a default color that we use by default. I'll also do all my effects here at the bottom. Sometimes I do them on a different page, so I'll do all my effects. I'll do my step effects and my wave effects, and then I'll go and do some stuff on the right hand side, which I'll show you what I do. Click on clear twice. I'm going to select my bars. Normally I don't do it with fixtures that have got gobo wheels because it just looks weird on stage, so I prefer doing this with a RGB or a CMY fixture. So let's select the bars. As you can see, they were white now, so I'm going to turn them to blue. Click on record. Click on the first one. I'm just going to call it blue. Let's do it in capital letters. Call it blue. Right click on it. Change it to an override. Go to function assignments. The down action on the lowest button I'll change to go. And the button above that I'll change, on the up action on that button I'll change to release, and the second button from the top I'll change to release as well. Now we can close that, clear this out. As you can see, we are doing something, they are white now, and if I click on go, I can bump them to blue and I can release them again. So if there's some powerful moments in the song, I can bump them 3 or 4 times, or once even. Just bump, or bump, keep them on, jump back. The same with the intensity effect stop. I can bump that button, I can stop all the effects, I can let it go, and it's going to keep on running. So this is how I set up my show file. If you want to learn more, please sign up to learnstagelighting.com. We'll be very happy to have you there and assist you and help you to get your band lighting show set up, and hopefully play a role in making your decisions and making the right decisions when you make those decisions. So, because if sometimes you make the wrong decisions, it's going to cost you money, it's going to cost you time, it's going to get you frustrated, and we don't want that. We are here to help you, we are here to guide you, and we definitely want to walk this journey with you. Hope to see you there, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Leave some comments below of what you thought of the video, and hopefully we see you over at learnstagelightinglabs.com.